Hello, welcome to Astrology Study Group. And this is the weekly transit looky-see. And here we go right away. This week starts out with a bang. I ran this for this morning and you could see the eclipse happening right here. And I'm actually gonna grab my notes here. I got there's like a lot of notes for this one. um yeah, wow. So just take your eyes on this chart for a minute and just take it in, because this is definitely, I mean, it's already unfolding. I've been, listening to things through the day. It's already later in the day. But wow, look at here, right there. You can see the sun and the moon are opposing. So that means it's a full moon. And, we have our lunar eclipse right in perfection right here with Uranus. So just take that in, the significance on this day. Wow. We've gone over this a few times. We went over this when we looked at the United States' chart. We went over it, a while back coming up to it, but it's like here we are on this interesting day in history. And it's so cool to use, that we can use the awesome tool of astrology to look at something as significant as this and watch it unfold. Well, we have lots of surprising things, and then we have lots of stagnation. And we can see from this and what we've looked at before that things are going to go up to a log jam, and it's going to jam up, and it's going to be a while before this unpacks. But this is kind of a cool tale, because this is, what's what has to happen. Couple quotes to start today. Right now, this is going to be a dramatic moment when things can shift. Just think about that. And then the little quote, I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was like, astrologically, things don't happen to us. They happen with our participation. That being said, I see this opposition right here. And when you think about, I was talking to my husband this morning about an opposition. And, if you think about it as like two forces, right, opposing, if you join hands, just think of somebody standing in front of you and hold their hand. And if that person is maybe fallen down, or maybe stuck in mud or something, you could pull them out, right? They're going with you, and that's good. A horse can, is connected to something and it's pulling it, right? That's like two forces going together. Or we can have the headbutts, when they're one like planet is moving toward another one. That would be, like one was retrograde. We have these different motions ones, and then it would be backing up toward another one. And then you can have two, going in opposite directions, once, again, the retrograde cycle of something makes these different motions. So when they're opposing, that's just a very interesting phenomenon, because, right here we see, the moon is going to cross over Uranus, but then Uranus is opposing, the sun's going one way, and they're kind of going toward each other for the moment. So this is some interesting dynamics. All right, we already mentioned that they're by the moon nodes. Last week we saw that all of them went over the south node, Venus, the sun, and Mercury. They all went over, and now, they're marching further, deeper into the sign. We're almost, so we're right halfway through the sign, other than Venus, moving a little faster, but Mercury today, halfway through. The sun, at it was 15 yesterday. Significant day yesterday. So when, and then this that middle of the season, and now we're right at this fixed opposition. Okay, you can get the gist of that. That's really a interesting phenomenon that we have. All right, but what else do we got going on? We know we have we have Saturn down here that's got this everything, that's posing, these are the oppositions, and then we have the square to Saturn. So we have the Saturn squaring the sun and its little group of activities, and then it's opposing the moon and its group. Interesting thing, I always like to look at the opposite side. That there's here on a T-square, the empty square, which would be our Leo side. So what's at those degrees Leo, and then what's going to happen when the moon, that's going to be the very next thing, hits that same degree of Leo. We'll kind of see that, as we step through. It's the moon is in the sign of every 2.5 days. So it's like, 4 signs too, get a little over a week. It's going to be hitting over in that area. That will kind of give some repercussions of some of these events. All right, so, oh goodness, it's very interesting time. What else? It's very interesting. I'm just going to go through the days because I have so many notes on this, but it's very interesting. Let me just say that. All right, let's go through one by one. So on the 9th, we have that aspect is changed. We've got the moon starting to change signs, and the same kind of thing we get there. I'm just trying to show you. Okay, so here, all right, so here we got the moon going over, when is this? Thursday. Moon going over, over Mars. What else I want to see? We want to look here at, down here in the bottom of the chart, at Jupiter. So we've got Jupiter. Watch this Jupiter bit. It's retrograding. It's going, let's see how far. This is going past it, but I wanted to just show you how far that goes. There we go. So it's really starting to slow down now. See, look, it's 28. Already went past it. Okay. So anyway, anyway, it was a 28, 29. So it's moving into that last phase of Pisces, and it was getting closer and closer to Neptune, and then it's gone forward. So let's just go back. So we have this slight, I don't want to say it, get out of there. We have this slight large disillusion starting to clear. So because we have it at 28, look, it's been going slow, and it's still there, and they're kind of traveling there together. I'm going back to present, and they don't get there yet, but that's right there before the end of the year. Jupiter goes back into Aries. So we have this nice little reprieve of digging back into that. Now, we saw that it only goes back to 28. The reason I wanted to show you that was because it's almost making a complete sextile to Pluto. So it doesn't quite hit the 26 degrees before it goes forward again. So what does that mean? I think it's a frustration. It's like it almost makes the sextile. It almost gets there, but it to me it's frustrating because it shows some big energies that of going depth, and we get a lot of resolution with that, but then there's still some stuff that's missing. And we're going to notice that this day is going to take a long time to unpack. So here's just one phase of it. As I just wanted to show you that. All right, what else do we got going on? So coming in here, we've got the planets start to get out of, I want to get over here for you. Planets start to get at the end degrees of Scorpio. And when they're moving through those end degrees of Scorpio, we're going to have this lineup with Mars that's going to be this inconjunct. So right here you can, well, let me go back because we got the sun here. So Mars, we're looking at Mars, we're at 24 degrees. Let's go back to here. Okay. well, tomorrow we got Venus going to start. So Venus is at 21 degrees. And then Thursday, 22. So here's just irritation. It's annoying. How else do I want to say it? Venus starts to pack off. It just feels unsettled. It's Mars is frustrated and it can't do anything. Venus is frustrated, and then here comes Mercury. There's Venus at that degree. Then Mercury is now just about right there. Saturday, Sunday, Venus has gone over it. Now Mercury is about heading into that. And then by next Monday, it's already past it. And then the sun is coming over that. Just want you to see how that's going to roll, because Venus is in the front at the moment. So we have frustration. Again, Mars, slow down. Mars, the planet of action, is now, retrograde in Gemini. So Gemini, Mars in Gemini is, it's just busy and it's just blah, blah, blah. So now it's like its hands are tied. Hands are tied. And all this focus here is going to be like really looking at stuff, and it's going to be micro looking and like one after another. So it's like this, I think the frustration is going to be get put to good use. Basically, it has to happen. It has to be examined. It has to come out. And I think that's why we have that Jupiter almost sextile to Pluto being so frustrating. And this is why. All right, let's just go a little further here. Another thing with the moon, today on the 8th, or if you see this again, November 8th, when the moon and Uranus are conjunct by the North Node. This is also, you think of Taurus as a bull, and it's like the herd. And the herd is going to be all of a sudden, it's not, upset, with the moon there. It's like shooting a gun with a bunch of cattle around. It's not easy to spook them into some kind of a stampede. So that's what I think that Uranus in the moon and Uranus by that North Node, or just the moon and Uranus, not really the North Node so much, it's just that is like, it just spooks the herd. The herd just gets like, boo, right now, it's like all riled up and they're running around. We got that herd is can't be corralled yet. And I think this whole energy of the focus is going to try to corral this, but with the frustration of Mars not going anywhere, you can't really go anywhere. So this is going to be part of that frustration that's going to, I think, ensue over this next week. And by next, let's just go back. Let's leave it here. Okay. So like by the end of the next, week, Wednesday, Tuesday, we're going to start to see, just get a little bit of change. So I think here's where the log jam starts to break a little bit, because now all the planets are going to start marching, or not all the planets, listen to me, these inner ones over here with the sun and its little entourage are going to start marching into Sagittarius, which, rules, the ruler is Jupiter over here in Pisces, being disillusioned next to Neptune. So we can kind of see how this is going to go round and round a little bit, but I just wanted to see this. Okay. So next Wednesday, we have Venus going there, which is nice. And then Thursday, you can see Mercury there, and it's going to start to pass that. And then a couple more days, you'll see. I just want to see it. We'll go through this next week. On the 22nd, the sun moves into there, and that has definitely will change a lot of the energies. So you can see how it'll be like 1, 2, 3. All right, now let's go back, because there's some other things that happen while all this is happening. Let's just go midweek. All right. Okay, so what else do we have going on here? We talked about the group over here with Mars. We have a lot of stuff with the inner planets, not a ton of stuff with the outer, more minor. I mean, or the outer to outer. There's a lot of the ruckus with these inner planets right now. And as we see, okay, so okay, so Venus in Scorpio over here is going to be making a sextile over to Pluto. Now that's nice. anything making, anytime you got to make an aspect to Pluto, if you got a trine or sextile, it's like way better. So this is Sunday. There's some, and again, Venus is leading the pack. So it's like having that, that your values, it's like, I knew it. I knew it, kind of a thing. You can be validated. Your inner self is going to be validated, and Mercury's right there to tell, to be like the tattletale. Mercury's to be like the tell, mom, you know, that's kind of going to be in the good thing. See, I knew it. Mercury's going to be the one that's going to be bringing out the information. Venus is going to feel it, and then the sun is going to shine on it. So we're going to have this, all, at this pack of aspects happening one after the other. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. They were all squaring Saturn first. Let's go back. There you go. Venus did it a couple days ago. It was like 20 degrees. This is the 8th. So here Venus already hit it. It's like people were knowing there's some stuff that was up. There was some shenanigans. There's some lies. There's some cheating. I feel it. It's right there. It's past it. And then the sun, shining. So that over the next couple days, okay. So it doesn't line up perfectly, and there's because it's going fast. But you see, Mercury and then the sun on Wednesday. When they're conjunct, they're just about both of them right on Saturn. Yeah. and then the next one. So you can see that we got the squares there going to Saturn, but then in a few days, then they start making the sextiles to Pluto. Okay. Now there's still more. All right. God, we got to go back and forth. Let's see this, because right here you can see Mercury's right there. So then we see, okay, there's another thing. We got a trine. So while all of this is going on, all of this is going on. So let's go back again to 22. All right, well, let's go. There we go. Okay, so Thursday, then we have Venus in a watery, fixed water Scorpio. All this fixed water is going to be making a trine to mutable water Pisces, water. So here's Venus Thursday first making a trine to Neptune, and those are the two benefics. So this could be a little bright, a little bit of a feeling. Maybe I think this is like the feeling to me. It's like I knew it all along. And then Mercury is going to come over next. What day is that? Saturday. Then Mercury makes that trine over there. So we got the communication with the feeling, it kind of reinforces that. And then 2 days later, the sun, was it Sunday, Monday? Okay, so then the sun is then making that trine over to Neptune. So we noticed that, because they're just tracking like that, they're going to be making those aspects one at a time. Now, Venus, you'll notice, is now starting to walk into making, all these are going to be making the trines to the next planet right over here into Jupiter. So now we got some big discoveries, big feelings coming in like Monday. It'll be interesting to follow this up next week. So we have all of these walking into that trine with Jupiter. So that lets me think to kind of walk through the illusion of Neptune and getting to the big Jupiter populace. The population maybe has gotten up and done something, is walked through this illusion. Because we see here it's starting to go, they're making that trine over to Jupiter. Boom. And then as they all start to do that, then it moves into the next sign, which happens to rule Jupiter. So it kind of reinforces it. Boom, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. All right, and then that brings us back over to Wednesday. Okay, anything else? Let me see if that's not enough. Okay, so we can see here now we got this group because they're all together. They're making all their little noise together, and then they're going to be making different aspects. The sextile to Pluto, or I'm not saying this in order, I'm just going along here, making the square to Saturn, and then making the trines to Neptune and Jupiter. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And I didn't even talk about Uranus, going through the next year, kind of following that as it treks through slowly its sign, as it finishes, those degrees will kind of resonate off in space, because this is a eclipse time here. So eclipses get triggered by the different cycles of the moon that come around, or the other planets when they hit those degrees. So when they hit some of those degrees, the outer ones, that resonate some of these bong bong, some of these intense aspects that had solidified on a certain day. Oh, that was a lot of words. I think you get it. All right, I think that is it today. This is, again, to start to, you get to see a log jam, and then a lot of rising up, a lot of coming together, a lot of investigation, I knew it, I felt it. It's like with all of this in those aspects, people being validated, which will then gain credibility. I think a lot of the people that have been trying to show other people the truth, I think it'll be like the cosmic Zen stick. It will be the what's needed to bring more enlightenment to people that haven't totally seen it yet. Yeah, because this is not only the United States. Even though there's a big day on the 8th, this is impacting the globe. This is the world. This is all of the same stuff is going on the same all over the world. If you look at the different, the populace, the people not liking the disconnect, the disparity between the ultra rich and the common person. We're seeing that middle ground is being taken away. There's just a big disconnect, and people are seeing through the veil. It reminds me of that end scene in the Wizard of Oz, which is a very interesting movie. Let me just say that. But when that curtain gets pulled back, Toto, the dog, barks and pulls it back, and they reveals that the great and powerful Oz is really a little nasty person behind the controls, trying to control and manipulate. So same thing, same time, different time, same station, kind of a thing. And this is starting to, the onion is being peeled. People are seeing this layered corruption, but these cycles in astrology keep revealing this. We've got that Uranus and Saturn push pull, and that constantly goes around, as a cycle. We've looked at those cycles when those planets are square, when they're conjunct, when they're opposition, they move around, and we get these authoritarian constructs that make it really solid. And then we get the Uranian, no, it ain't, boom. And then sometimes it's over too much, and sometimes not enough. And those cycles just go round and round as people evolve, as spirits evolve, as people get different slices of life. But astrology can give you a little bit of a map downhill, a map through the forest, a map when when you can't see, when you can only know, but you can't see, and you have to make some sense of things. You have to make sense of lies, of things being misinterpreted, misrepresented, and have some kind of a guiding light that is repeatable. All right, I hope that helps, and we'll see you all on the next astrology study group. All right, have a good rest of the day. Bye now.